everyone, so welcome back and thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be doing a review, and today's review is actually going to be on a new palette that just recently launched. Where is it? It's this little bad boy. We are going to be reviewing the new Royal Peach palette. This is by Kylie Cosmetics. So before we get jumping into this video, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, you know the drill. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I'll go ahead and show you guys a little red button. You guys can hit that subscribe button down below. Feel free to also follow me on my social media. That way you guys can see me behind this screen. I'm at StephsBeauty05 for Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. But let's get into this because I'm really excited. So here is the beautiful palette. This is the Royal Peach palette. This is her newest launch that she just recently came out with. She does have two former palettes already out. Little side note, I don't own any of them. They just never really spoke to me, so I decided never to really dive into it. But when I saw this palette, I mentioned on Twitter, I was like, I have to have this palette. Like, this palette is screaming my name. I was able to pick up this one as well as a few other ones, but this is what the box looks like. You're gonna get a beautiful picture of her eyes. That's pretty much all that is on it. And then on the back side, it's going to say Kylie, and then it's going to list the shadows that are in the palette. This palette, I want to say, retails for about $48. I'll have it listed right here because I really don't know. I literally just went in and bought it. I didn't even look at the price. I just bought it and hoped that I got a shipping confirmation for it. Once you open the palette, this is what it looks like, and the packaging alone is so beautiful. It's sleek, it's clean, it just says Kylie in gold, it's all white. And then on the back side, again, it's just going to list all of the shadows that are in the palette. And then once you open it up, here is what it looks like. You're going to get 12 shadows, and you are going to get a mixture between mattes and shimmers, and then a really good blending brush. So we are going to go look at the swatches. I'm going to show you guys how they perform, and then I'm going to give you guys my review and let you guys know my thoughts. So let's jump into the swatches. Alone, the packaging is very beautiful. I do love how sleek and clean it is. This is exactly what I enjoy about palettes like hers. There's not a lot going on. It's just white and it's got beautiful gold lettering. I do also like that she listed the names of the shadows on the back side of the palette, because on the inside, as you guys can see, you do not get to see the names of the shadows, and sometimes I find that palettes will not actually have the names anywhere, and you have to keep the box in order to remember the names. So then once you open it up, as I showed you guys, the mirror is a very good size mirror in my opinion. I do like that it's pretty much the entire size of the palette itself. Does say Kylie, and then the pan sizes. The pan sizes for the shadows I felt were really big in my opinion, and for the price point of this palette compared to some of the other palettes that are out on the market, the shadows are a lot bigger than those palettes. And then the brush. Here is the brush. It is the exact same packaging as the palette itself. It's going to be all white. It's got a gold ferrule, and then it just says Kylie. But when I saw the brush, when I first opened the palette, I felt like the brush looked exactly like the Sigma E25. Now let me get that for you guys. So here is the Sigma E25. I am going to zoom you guys in, but as you guys can see, they look very similar to each other. The Kylie Cosmetics one is just slightly longer, but for the most part, the brushes are really identical. Now, when it comes to brushes inside a palette, I do find that it can be difficult sometimes to get a very decent quality brush. Sometimes when I get palettes, I don't rarely ever use the brushes because the quality isn't always the best, or they're scratchy, or they just are really useless in my opinion. But I expected to not be able to use this brush very good. I figured that, hey, it's not really gonna work, but we'll give it a shot. And I found that I never went to another brush. I was really impressed with the quality of this brush. It performed just as well as my other blending brushes, and it really worked well with the shadows. So not only are you gonna get a decent size palette, but you're also gonna get a really good brush to go with it. I do like that she included a blending brush of all brushes, because sometimes they add some other brushes that you're just like, well, I'm never gonna use that. But a blending brush is a very versatile brush to have in your palette. Now let's move into the shadows because that's obviously what we want to know about. Are the shadows good or are they not good? There is a nice array of matte shadows in here, a very easy way to create a nice matte look, and there's also a really good amount of shimmer shadows to play around with. Although I found that when it came to the shimmer shadows, the best way to apply them are with your fingers. If you guys have nails and you guys know the difficulties, it was a little difficult for me because I have longer nails. So sometimes I find that when I use my fingers, I'll get it everywhere, which irritates me, which is why I don't like using my fingers. But for the grand scheme of things, I found that if I put it on my finger and then I sprayed a little bit of Fix Plus, the intensity was 10 times better. If you want to lighten it up and you don't like the intensity of the shimmer shadows, just simply use a brush. You'll still get a nice color off of it. The only color in this palette that I did find to be a little bit off was the blue. It wasn't as rich and vibrant as I expected it. I did have to go in with a liner to kind of intensify that blue. Although for me, I would have liked it to be a little more vibrant, but for anybody else who doesn't really get triggered by that color or is a little intimidated by it, it's okay because it's not going to come off as stark as I expected. So what I do like about this palette is although it's a very neutral palette and there are some colors in here that are not super neutral, like the green, the purple, and the blue, they're not as stark and vibrant as they are in the pan. So for those of you guys who are a little intimidated by color, it's okay because you'll be able to play around with this still and kind of build the intensity to your liking, which I kind of really like. The only thing that I noticed that I did have to dive into for another color was that there was no highlight shade and no brow bone shade. So if you are somebody that likes to highlight like your inner corners or your brow bone, you will have to dive into another palette or another shadow to get that. But I know that there's people out there that really don't do that as well. I do see myself using this palette quite often, and I do find this palette to be very travel friendly. Can't speak. When she relaunches this palette, I do recommend that you guys get your hands on it if you can. It's going to definitely be worth the money. But like I said, I was able to snag a few extra ones. I decided to give one away now and then one for my 70K, I believe I'm gonna do. I do have some extra stuff sitting down here. So if you guys want to enter, I am planning to give one of these beautiful palettes away. I'm gonna have all the details down below on how to enter this giveaway. I'm gonna be giving one lucky person the opportunity to win this palette. It is going to be open international for those of you guys asking. Any questions about the giveaway, please go ahead and look in the description box. I'm gonna have everything linked down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this palette. If you guys are planning to get it when it relaunches, if you guys got it and what your thoughts are on the palette. And if you guys own any of the other palettes, I would like to know the comparisons and see if I actually need to get those while I can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe and follow me on social media, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.